Alright guys, welcome back for another quick tutorial. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be working on a perspective. Now for the perspective that we're going to be doing today, I've also incorporating a movie movie into the overall design. So let's real quick do a recap over what is a perspective. Alright, so on your paper, I'm going to throw down one line first. This is your horizon line, left to right. On the center of the horizon, I'm going to do a dot. That's our vanishing point, and a little road coming out and away from that. So you can see as it goes back, as things are close to you in the foreground, they are nice, proper size, big. As they descend back into the background, you have going from the big to little perspective. So you're going to have things being wee little bitty tiny things in the back. Quick helpful tip: if you want to, on the side of your road, draw a couple circles. And as the circle's going back in the distance, I like to use this as a size measurement. If you're working in pencil, that's probably a better idea because then you can erase these afterwards and just do it as one design. But you can easily see that as they're going back in the distance, they're getting smaller going back for that perspective. Now in the back here, we're going to give ourselves a little atmospheric markers. So we got some mountains getting smaller as they go across the skyline. I'm going to do this one big. So I can see that this one is closer to me than this one, but this one is farther back because these are about the same size. So as it goes back in the distance, I still have all that perspective stuff going on. A couple clouds up in the sky, just give myself a little bit more atmospheric illustration. Now, if the sun is setting, let's put the sun right here behind a cloud. This is fine. Make sure I got none of those corner suns. If I got the corner sun, what am I going to do? Probably smash your paper, give you an F. So let's not do that. All right, so we have our basic overall image of our landscape, and this is kind of what I want to see on your paper. The thing that you're going to get is one of the nice big sheets of paper like so. This paper here is your scratch. You want to see all your sketch designs on this before you get the final paper. The final paper is a thicker paper. That is your watercolor paper. That's the stuff that we're going to do the final draft on. Now let's talk about that movie. All right, now while we're watching a movie, we don't just watch a movie for class. We also use it as a something for us to engage with and look at to get an overall idea of what we want to draw, what we want to create in our landscape design. So I want you to focus on finding a good landscape in that picture, or in that movie, I should say. So as we're going through each scene, I'm going to put a marker on by the computer, or by the tape. So as you're watching the movie, hit pause at the time spots so that you can draw your illustration, so that you can create a well-rounded movie. Now for the movie that we're going to be doing today, it's this. If you don't know who this guy is, that might help a little more. Nothing still? All right, let's look at the big cast. All right, so for the film that we're going to be working on, we're going to be doing Wreck-It Ralph. When you're doing Wreck-It Ralph, these are the main scenes that I want you guys to focus on, just because this is something simplistic, but it's also spot on exactly what I want you to do. All right, so we have the main scene here. In the movie, you won't have a picture that's like this, but you have a picture in the terminal. The terminal is a great perspective because you have everything going back in the distance. You have a nice linear landscape on this horizon line. In the back, you have a vanishing point behind Ralph's head, and all of those lines converging back to that centralized point. Now, characters. These are detail components. I would love to see the detail components. However, what I'm looking for specifically is that landscape. So let's look at this one, the Sugar Rush. This is after Ralph has crashed that spaceship that after he left the Space Invader video game, and comes over to Sugar Rush and sees the landscape out as a whole. This is iconic. This is one of those pictures that really show a staple of the perspective. You have a nice horizon line way back here in the distance, and that'd be stretched across the other side of these nice big candy mountains. Lots of design. You have King Candy's castle right here. You have a little bit of letter illustration to work on in the middle ground. In the foreground, the stuff that's closest to us, you have this lollipop tree, Ralph, and the plateau that he's staying on. You can actually see the bit of the space shuttle right there, the spaceship thing that he was riding in. But you have really good perspective in this by items that are in the middle ground right here to Ralph in the foreground. Size-wise, he is bigger than the castle, but that's what you'd expect because this is a distance away. But the castle is bigger than some of the mountains that are way back, far away from you. So this has the underlying theme of everything that I want to see in your design. Make sure you put down a lot of illustration. Let's look at that last picture real quick. Another one in the terminal. This is a scene from the film. Horizon line right here at the base, at the bottom of the back of the terminal right here, this back right corner of the whole terminal would be your centralized point. Now your vanishing point is going to be up here a little more, just because if I take my pencil, or my pen I should say, and line up those lines, where those lines are coming from all goes back to this centralized point, which is this little white dot. Could have been the filmmakers leaving that in for a drawing purpose, or just one of those aesthetic things where they just felt like leaving it in. I want you to create that design. Give me some characters, because it's going to make more painting a lot more enjoyable, a lot more interesting. And I want to definitely see the structure in each of your designs. So let's go to Ralph real quick, break down the character display. All right, so going through a character display, I would definitely want to see a Kung Fu Steve reference. Those who have me in the past definitely already know what that is. So we start off with the circle for the head, neck, upper torso, pelvic area to... I'm just going to draw this right on top of him so you can easily see what I want you to do. So I got my structure. Shoulder to arm to elbow, forearm. Now he didn't really have much of an arm because this goes straight out to hand. So you have your pieces for your hand. Round cherry. Just trace on top of it. But you can easily see what I'm looking at here. I want to see the structure in your character. So throw down a quick sketch of your skeleton, and then add your image to the top of that. So on the top of that, got the shoulder first, just because it's a centralized point, down to the overalls that he's got on. And I know it's weird because I'm tracing on top of a picture, but I want you to see that the picture is just a guidepost. So that you get all those little shapes in there. All right. Watch the film, have fun, draw your picture, expect to see greatness out of you. Later.